Good afternoon, Super Kicking with Stephen fans. Your favorite host, Stephen A. 1181, right here, riding solo. Greg had to work today, and just a little update. Next week, obviously, is Christmas Eve as well, but it's Christmas, so we will be off next week. Everybody have a good Christmas event and holidays and all that good stuff. Wishing our friend the Lion Dan best wishes in his recovery right now, as he's kind of getting over a horrible bout in the hospital. So he's back, hopefully ready to rock and roll. And just a little update after that. So we will get live back on January 1st, 2022 for the event of day one for WWE. So, and also I think then we'll talk probably our best of, year end, wrap it up, all that good stuff. So some things to talk about this week. Probably a truncated version, just me riding solo. So I'll give you some hits from the week. I think the biggest news is Kevin Owens resigning with WWE, multi-year deal. I mean, I thought personally the writing was on the wall, that he was out, he's gone, he's going to AEW in a few months or whatever, and then all will be well. But he's got to make the best choice for him. He said it was an easy decision, and it was the best decision for his family. So sounds like it's a good chunk of change. Doing what he wants to do, be where he wants to be. And who knows, maybe in a few years, he can go AEW and do whatever he wants there. But I kind of think he's done the rest. I think he's done all the hardcore wrestling. He's done everything he could outside WWE. So I think he does want to be there, help guys get better, do things the right way like he wants to do. So also, I believe Sami Zayn is re-signed, but no confirmation of that. Sounds like, I know Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn are always kind of tied together at the hip, so it wouldn't surprise me if Sami Zayn resigned. I mean, Sami Zayn has been one of the more entertaining aspects of SmackDown, in the past month or so, and really probably the whole year if you really look at it. But this stuff with Brock Lesnar has really turned him up a notch, so wouldn't surprise me as well if he sticks around, for a few years as well. Hopefully, that kind of gets rewarded in an aspect of not being cut down the road if they think the investment's not worth it. So that's kind of the big news there. Other than that, we kind of looked at Raw. First off, we did have Bobby Lashley kind of talking up he deserves an opportunity, and the big deal was, or the big matchup set was, it's going to be Bobby Lashley taking on Kevin Owens, then taking on Seth Rollins, and taking on Big E. If he can win those three matches, he is in the WWE Championship match at day one. Obviously, the writing was on the wall. Kevin Owens just tapped out real quick. He'd even let Bobby Lashley put on the Hurt Lock. Then Seth Rollins, there was a DQ, but it reset. And, Kevin Owens comes out there, causes chaos. They try to cause chaos, Big E, or Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins in the last match. Big E loses to Bobby Lashley. Lashley, therefore, is in the match. I mean, it makes sense. I was kind of curious what Lashley would do. I do wonder if at Royal Rumble we get the, trifecta. We can finish up the feud with Goldberg. We have 1-1 there. So it wouldn't surprise me if Goldberg shows up for the Royal Rumble, or maybe he knocks out and maybe we get Lashley and Goldberg at WrestleMania, kind of play that up there. But right now, day one will be a fatal four-way match with Big E taking on Seth Rollins, taking on Kevin Owens, and taking on Bobby Lashley. I think it's just a good way for Big E to get involved with everybody kind of at the top of the game. So let's see what this friend has to say in our comments. He is saying Finn Balor for WWE title off New Year's Triple Threat. Go to NXT. Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of talk about what can Finn do better. And, right now Finn is just kind of there, unfortunately. But we'll kind of talk about Finn Balor, what he did on Monday Night Raw and, kind of get that going. So, but yes, thank you for the YouTube comment from Devi, I believe it was. So thank you for that. Yeah, definitely Finn Balor deserves more. We had Otis defeat Riddle. It looks like we're going to get Chad Gable and Otis, the Alpha Academy, against Riddle and Randy Orton at day one. I think that's a good matchup there. Maybe Alpha Academy sneaks out a win just to kind of get the titles off RK Bro. I kind of feel like the RK Bro has run their course. It's probably time for a new champion. I've always felt like the tag team champions, tag team titles should kind of bounce around. I think every few months you just shake it up. It felt like back in the day it was Edge and Christian switching it with, the Hardy Boys, switching with Dudley Boys. And, it just felt like, tag teams were always kind of in and out of the tag team title picture. So if RK Bro wins, that's fine. I do think Street Profits probably need to take it at WrestleMania if they're not ready to take it now, or if they're not ready to drop it now. So we'll kind of see what goes there. Bianca Belair defeated Doudrop. This is just one of those, it just keeps kind of going back and forth here. I was pretty excited for Doudrop. I thought she really took it to, this whole Doudrop character. Piper took this Doudrop character to heart, really played it up well. And, now she's kind of looking like a coward. And it sucks when you do that to your heel, especially with somebody like this size of Piper who could do things in a ring like Kevin Owens, a bigger person there to kind of, she can hold her own against Bianca. But, and I know Bianca is kind of losing steam as well. I feel like this is kind of hurting both just because both women need to be moving on from this. So hopefully we do move on from that soon enough and see where things go. Next up, we also had Becky Lynch granting Liv Morgan a title rematch after, of course, Becky Lynch laid waste to, Liv Morgan there. I wonder if we might have missed an opportunity for Liv last week. Maybe even if you just have, just a 1 week run from Liv, just to kind of get her, in that title picture and let her pick up the win. But, we kind of see, hopefully this day one might change course and see where things go for Liv Morgan. Maybe she just has to keep chasing to WrestleMania and then get that WrestleMania moment and really let everything, come true there. So also we saw the Dirty Dogs defeat Finn Balor and Damian Priest. We saw Austin Theory kind of get involved to step up to, take out Finn Balor. So that looks like where we're going next. We also had the Finn Balor stuff. We had Austin Theory, still in cahoots with Vince McMahon in the backstage. So, kind of going there. But Dirty Dogs pick up a win. We still haven't seen where Damian Priest is going to go next. I'm guessing Apollo Crews is still kind of in that U.S. title picture. Also, we saw Queen Zelina defeat Rhea Ripley. I wonder if the writing is on the wall for Nikki Cross. Maybe going away and, going with her husband, back to the independent scene. I don't think there's a place right now for her in AEW. I don't know if she fits there, but she could. Don't know about Impact Wrestling, but I do wonder if maybe her and her husband will just, take it easy and kind of go at it. But it does seem like the writing's on the wall there that Nikki Cross, with her losing and just not having the Nikki Ash character as strong, it does make you wonder that. So also, how about this is kind of an underrated, it's really picked up steam, The Miz and Edge. This time we had Maurice get in the middle of it, and Maurice slapped The Miz because Edge started to go after The Miz, and Maurice was used as a shield by The Miz. So, a little love there, a little love-hate relationship, or, a little love at the crossroads, I guess it is, as it, there. But I believe next week we're getting the cutting edge with Maurice and Edge. So, Miz will probably be out there. I still believe Beth Phoenix gets involved at some point in this. So, and, maybe we get a tag match at Mania or get the tag match soon, maybe Elimination Chamber and then another singles match or something like that. But I think Beth Phoenix is a good addition to this if you're going to have Maurice on the other side. So, and then finally, like I said, Bobby Lashley, just kind of held up his own on all ends, defeating, Big E, defeating Seth Rollins, and defeating Kevin Owens in one night. So a really strong outing for him. Still haven't seen the Hurt Business with him kind of back together. Do you kind of wonder if maybe the Hurt Business could step up and help Lashley win, or maybe try to help him win? But I know we do have Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin back together. So, it kind of makes sense if you went that route. So that was my, short and sweet to the point of Raw. Um, Looking at NXT, some of the big things there were Cameron Grimes defeated Duke Hudson in no holds bar match. We had great, then we had Duke Hudson's shaved head, the bald head out there for all the viewing pleasure. So, both guys probably need to move on from that and, kind of see where things go there. We also had Grayson Waller respond to his attack on Johnny Gargano. As we know, Johnny Gargano isn't officially a free agent. I think the first few months of this coming year, 2022, we won't see him anywhere. I think he'll stay home, be a daddy for the bit, get used to life with a baby, help Candace kind of, get on her feet as well, back to where she could get. And but I do think the writing is there that Johnny Gargano in AEW makes a lot of sense. And, maybe Ciampa down the road and have DIY reunion, because I think that would be a lot of fun for the tag team division there. So, so Johnny Gargano, it seems like you want him back, and maybe they're still sorting out things. But for right now, the official word is Johnny Gargano's out. But you feel like you'd want him to get back at Grayson Waller to kind of, make up for that. But if you write him off that way, that works as well. So. Ivy Nile picked up a good win for, the Diamond Mine. She keeps just showing up as this really spunky gal, just like a bulldog type in there. Harlan, laid waste to Guru Raja in his debut match. Harlan looks like a beast. We had Cora J defeat Dakota Kai. That's a big win for Dakota Kai there. Just, really selling her wares well. Boa doing his thing. We had Jacket Time defeating Grizzled Young Veterans. Kind of building up, Jacket Time as a legit tag team champions. And then Braun Breaker defeating Roderick Strong. But you did have Ciampa come out and, take care of Braun. And you wonder if Ciampa keeps picking up wins, does Braun eventually get the title? Maybe not New Year's Smash, maybe TakeOver at Mania, maybe some sort of takeover before then. But I can see Braun Breaker being our next NXT champion, and it'll be curious to see kind of what he does there. So we got Raw, we got NXT. Let's talk about SmackDown. SmackDown-wise, it was all about Brock, all about Heyman, all about Roman Reigns. So the big story there was we had, Roman out there trying to get Paul to admit to what had happened. And, Roman's like, oh, I just see you, Brock's scared of me. And then our Heyman kind of comes out with the whole thing of saying, no, Brock, I try to protect you from Brock. And then we get Heyman with a Superman punch. We have Brock kind of come to the rescue. You do wonder if it's all a swerve. If we see, somehow Heyman, screws Brock. There just seems like there's too much there to like make it that easy. So I don't think we've seen the end of this, and day one is going to be telling which way it goes. So, and then like we said, could we see a rematch at WrestleMania? I think Roman, we really have Drew McIntyre in the background as well. So maybe you do Brock, Drew, and Roman. And then, if Drew could come out of that on top, I would love to see that and give Drew that moment, over Roman, over Roman and Brock at WrestleMania, packed house in Dallas Stadium, 100,000 people watching Sunday night, April, whatever it be. But that could be a really good win for Drew there. Speaking of good wins, we also saw Toni Storm and Sasha Banks defeat Charlotte Flair and Chatzi in a really, I think it took up about the first half hour of the night for, SmackDown. They gave a lot of time to this. A lot of, near falls, just, showing that Shotzi is looking still good as she is. We're still having, Charlotte and Sasha kind of holding their own as, the gatekeepers of the women's division, and Toni Storm holding her own. Even though I was a little disappointed she got no entrance. She was already there, but they did a lot of previewing before the night started. So some other things, we had the Viking Raiders defeat Shanky and Mahal. Good win for Viking Raiders, just getting them closer to, back in that tag team title picture. Drew McIntyre got his Angela back from Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss. And at day one, we're probably going to see Madcap Moss, Drew McIntyre go at it. We'll see if maybe Madcap can pull out a win there. I don't have much faith, but I do think, now that Jeff Hardy's gone, I guess that was the big news too. Jeff Hardy is officially released. Writing on the wall there that, AEW, and we'll get the Hardy Boys back together there. Ridge Holland defeated Cesaro. This harkens back to where Cesaro beat him. I still think Cesaro needs somebody in his corner. Maybe Drew's that. Maybe Drew could find his way into this, kind of take out Sheamus again. But you wonder what is the game plan for Cesaro because, he keeps having the 2-on-1 attack and he's having nobody there. So we also saw Naomi defeat Shayna Basler. We keep hearing about when is Naomi and Sonya going to happen. I think that officially happens at day one, and kind of get that, and then let Naomi lay out, lay out Sonya Deville and kind of move on from there. But we did have Shayna Basler try to, get out, shift her weight and try to push her around Naomi in the beginning, and then that didn't work. So then we just had Naomi turn the tables and pick up the win over Shayna Basler. So also we saw the New Day defeat the Usos in a championship contenders match. So therefore we are officially set to go for New Day Usos. You can give me New Day and Usos every day of the week, 24/7. Just let them keep going at it, and we'll see if maybe there's a tag team title change there. But we'll kind of see where that goes. And finally, we did have Roman Reigns, brawl with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar lays him out. Brock Lesnar lays out everybody. And so we'll see if next week, kind of leading up to day one, if we do see Paul more in line with Heyman in line with Brock, or does Heyman just apologize to Roman, stuff like that. I feel like there's a lot of, there's 3 to 4 different directions you can go with this. So yeah, that was kind of the week in WWE. Some AEW news. The big story there was the Broadway, the draw, the 60-minute time limit to Hangman Adam Page, to Daniel Bryan. I think this was such a good match for Hangman Page. Bryan Danielson held his own. Obviously, he carried the match. But I thought Hangman held his own as well. There's a lot of near falls. I mean, you had the cockiness of Bryan Danielson show up. This is, I think, what a lot of people might have wanted to see Bryan Danielson kind of hit at the end of his run in WWE. But, I don't know what we'll get for the next match. Maybe we'll get a no time limit and, whatever, our Iron Man contest type deal. So, I mean, I'd still like the Iron Man contest between Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega. I feel like that's your bigger match there, but maybe this is a good way to kind of get Hangman Page, kind of set up as well. So Matt Sydal and Wardlow, obviously Wardlow defeated him. Nothing much there. When are we going to finally pull that? Cut the cord between Wardlow and MJF. You don't want it too long that it just doesn't matter. So I am curious when that eventually does happen. We had Hikaru Shida defeat Serena Deeb. This, kind of an underrated rivalry, but one that, really shows what the women's division could do away from the title scene. And that's what WWE needs to look at as well. You always have the title scene and that's your main focus, and then nothing else is there. You might have 2 or 3 minute matches, everywhere else. But this is, a really underrated feud, especially with the aspect that Shida got her 50th win and then had the, her little plaque broken by Serena Deeb. This is probably what Serena wanted to do all along. And we'll see if maybe these women enter the TBS title picture down the road. So MJF defeated, Dante Martin. We had Sting and Darby Allin show up. We had, CM Punk show up. So kind of all there, kind of all, showing up there. It looks like it will be Punk, Darby Allin, and Sting against MJF, MJF and FTR. Sting kind of probably closing out here on TNT. I think that makes a lot of sense. So we'll see, where things go there. And Rampage, we also had some big stuff where we had the Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era. We had the Young Bucks, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole get defeated by Trent, picking up a big win. We had Trent come back to help the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy kind of get their own on this. Rocky Romero as well. And then we had Dan Lambert back, and, nothing much there. I'm just kind of sick of this. So not going to talk about Dan Lambert, but yeah, we'll just kind of move on. Tay Conti beat, a submission match against Penelope Ford. And this was, just a match just to have it. These women, it's her, Anna Jay, Penelope Ford, and the Bunny kind of all intermixed with each other. And it doesn't feel like anything's really going any direction with that. So, and then also we saw Garcia's team of Danny Garcia 2.0 and the Acclaim pick up the win in the 10-man tag match to kind of build that feud. I still think we're waiting on Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston go against 2.0, kind of let that be a big match. Maybe that has New Year's Smash to kind of let that play out. So, yeah, so that was the kind of that was my, quick and dirty and easy World in Wrestling. Like I said, little truncated version, just giving you some hits or misses from the week that was. Kevin Owens re-signing, Jeff Hardy getting released. Those are the big stories there. And, have a good, happy holidays and happy Christmas. And we'll get back at it with the whole show, back at it day one, predictions and kind of tidying up the end of the year. Who was the best of the year, who was, most improved, who broke through, and all those good stuff. So kind of giving you a year-end list, maybe just a fun kind of back and forth about year-end lists. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy Christmas, and talk to you guys in 2 weeks for day one.